beautiful day here in Mount Shasta City. I am at the lake right now, and there are lots of people. Well, you can't really see, but there's people down here and all around that are enjoying the lovely Mount Shasta weather today. Let us start with prayer. God and Goddess, thank you so very much for existence, for the opportunity for us to be, and for us to have the opportunity to live today and experience all the love and joy and beauty that this earth has to offer. Thank you for continuing to allow us to exist in this mother ovum, allowing us to have the opportunity to climb up the golden ladder, to repent from our mistakes, and to become the best versions of ourselves possible. Please, please help us be kind and compassionate and loving towards others, even when they are not nice to us. Please help us to forgive others, and help others to forgive us as we're all trying to navigate this world and deal with all of the demons that are attacking us and everything. So thank you so much for the love and forgiveness that you show us, and please help to guide us and give us a great day. Amen. So, before we get into all of the Essene Healing intro, I want to say the prayer for today, which is Mind Day. The midday peace contemplation is our God and Goddess, immanent and transcendent. Send to all your angel of peace. To all the helpful thoughts of my mind, send your angel of power. It's really important what we allow to come into our minds, and even further, what we allow to ruminate in there, right? Things can come in, and not all the thoughts are from ourselves. There are external forces, which is one of the topics that I wanted to talk today about, which are demons. They want to feed off of pain. They want to sow seeds of discord. They want to change our perception and how we view other people. They want us to be anything that is misaligned with Yah's way, the way of the God and Goddess, the way that is uplifting. So it's really important to take hold of all of our thoughts. What the Bible says, take captive all their thoughts. I don't agree with Apostle Paul or that Paul was an apostle, but there are some still great teachings, taking hold of thoughts in our minds and making sure that they are of the upward spiral, that they are in line with the expansion of existence, consciousness, and bliss. And they're not in these negative thought forms that pull us down, that degrade us, that lead to unhealthiness, whether it's the body, the mind, the body, the soul, or unhealthy relationships as well. It's really important. So that being said, this information, so I had mentioned before that I wanted to do the Essene Healing Hands with you. And first I need to do some intro information so that you kind of understand the Essene Healing Paradigm is what it is called according to this manual. The manual that I'm teaching from is from the Modern Essene Fellowship. This was a group that I believe was in Florida and ended around 2012, but they have extensive teaching manuals and healing science information online. So just to differentiate that this is not from the Megillah, this is not from the Order of the Essenes that is in Florence. So thankfully, no copyright issues here. We don't have to worry about that. Woohoo! That being said, I wanted to, so first of all, get into the Essene Healing Paradigm to understand what healing is about and how to even go about healing. Where does it start? Because healing isn't, we've been taught about popping pills and surgeries and all these other things, but there obviously is a spiritual way of healing, and there are multiple layers of the things. Like, we should be looking at it as a holistic thing, whereas you go to the doctor and they say, oh, you're having these symptoms, take this pill or whatever. Back in the day, you might be the witch doctor, the medicine man, the shaman, the wise woman, whatever you are sitting in front of, instead of this industrial or the, this formalized situation that we have now, they would say, okay, well, when was the last time that you danced? When was the last time that you expressed yourself in this way, the art? Or they would look at other underlying issues that are contributing to your overall issue, rather than the medical industry that we have now that just looks at the bare minimum, and the doctors don't even have, bless you, have nutritional background, right? A lot of the nurses, doctors, they get little to no nutritional information at all. Pharmaceutical industry is all about big pharma and pills, unnatural means of healing, and they want lifelong patience, right? Once you understand that there's these parasites that are feasting off of our pain and suffering, then you take a look at the medical industry and all of the unnecessary pokes and jabs and prodding and taking things out and putting things in, and a cancer treatment and all of these different things that they do to heal people. It's all just energy vampirism of all of these negative, the suffering, the pain, all of the evil. And that's not to blame doctors and nurses, because 9 out of 10 times they have no idea that the industry is what it is. And then once they are made aware of the industry, that's when you'll see their true colors. Are they going to stay in that industry poking and prodding for profit, right? Or are they going to come to the realization that Mother Earth, God and Mother Earth, Mother Nature, God, Goddess, all of these, whatever you want to refer to creation, the creator, the creation as, there are herbs and remedies for us literally at our fingertips, whether not just the herbs and the plants and stuff, but even different types of crystals and stones. They all have their own energy, frequency, vibration, and can be used for different healing modalities. So this is, let me see if I can get 2 screens going here. So again, this is called the Essene Healing Paradigm, and there are different rules that they have, just not as in rules to follow this or follow that, but you'll see here in a second when I put it on the screen. Rule 1, the law of Earth. Underlining and supporting every physical ailment is an emotional issue. Find and resolve this emotional issue, and the physical ailment is healed. Emotional issues include all forms of anger, anxiety or fear, sorrow or depression, resentments, blaming others, seeking revenge, guilt, shame, and any other obstructive emotion. So that should make a lot of sense, that these emotions that we have can literally hinder our healing, but even more cause problems, right? When you have like unforgiveness and all of these things, they can literally cause, especially like if you're unforgiving, right? You can develop heart disease from these different things that you're holding onto in different areas of the body, stress or unforgiveness or any of these negative things, guilt, shame, seeking revenge. All of these things can hold energies and keep us from healing as well. Rule 2, the law of water. Underlying and supporting every emotional issue is a mental block. Find and remove this mental block, and the emotional issue is healed. Mental blocks are generally hidden because we deny them. Denial is a way of avoiding our issues and the reality of our life. We think that if we don't see it or pay attention to it, we don't have a problem. The problem is we don't see it and we don't pay attention to it. Remember the teaching from the Megillah that I read the other day about these 2 people, that one had really big flaws, and so over time the flaws were just so big that they're so obvious to the person that they worked on themselves and they became a better person. And the other person had a bunch of little tiny flaws who didn't pay attention to them at all and didn't do anything to change. So eventually over time, you're actually going to get worse because you don't recognize your flaws, and you're kind of either on an upward spiral or a downward spiral. There's only 2 ways to go. We're not complacent beings. Like every action that we take, every thought, every action, every deed, everything that we're doing is fueling that drive one way or the other, upward or downward. So yes, we need to make sure that we are not avoiding issues and the reality of our life. Rule 3, the law of air. Underlying and supporting every mental block is an intuitive error. Find and reverse this intuitive error, and the mental block is healed. We are all intuitive all the time. When we don't listen to our intuitive insights or pay any attention to them, we are committing an intuitive error. When we do anything contrary to our intuitive insights, we are making an intuitive error. What came to mind when I was reading that is just also the fact that if anyone looks inside, they know by intuition that hurting animals is wrong. But every time that you're going to the store, going to McDonald's, going to a food place, you're eating, you're going against that intuition that's inside. You're denying that intuition. You're going against your soul's true alignment and what you are at a fundamental level. At a fundamental level, you're not an animal abuser. You're not cruel. You're not hurtful. You're not hateful. You're loving. And that animal, if it was right in front of you, I can't speak for everyone, but I would say the vast majority of at least the people that are watching my videos would not be able to sit there and slice that cow's throat, because you do have that compassion and love in you. It just is underneath a lot of layers of addiction and programming and cultural norms that need to be broken through so that you can align with your soul's true intuition. That's that voice inside that, says, hey, probably shouldn't go and slice that cow's throat. Probably should just eat an apple instead. Rule 4, the law of fire. Underlying and supporting every intuitive error is a spiritual disconnection. When you find this conflict and sorry, I just lost my place. When you find this conflict and connect once again to the divine, the whole person is healed on every level of being. Anytime we're not in communication with the divine, we are disconnected from the divine. This is our choice, and we can return to the divine anytime. The choice is ours and ours alone. I love this, especially like I said, this is not coming. These aren't tied to the Megillah's teachings. There's multiple different orders of the Essenes. Essene just means healer of body, mind, and soul. And there's a bunch of different groups all over the world that have different Essene teachings. But I love how this ties into what we've been talking about in the Megillah, and how God and Goddess are just waiting there with their unconditional love and forgiveness, and their arms are waiting, and they're just saying, come on, we want, so this all comes back to the same thing. Is like, anytime we're not in communion with the divine, we're disconnected from them, and this is our choice, and we can return at any time. It's not God and Goddess turn their backs on us, no matter what we've done. And that's the great thing too. It's like, no matter what you've done in your life, no matter what evil things that you have done, God and Goddess still love you. They never turn their back on you. They're waiting for you to be like, oh shoot, I messed up, and turn back to them and come back into the family. And I think that's just really beautiful and encouraging. So hopefully, if there's only one thing that I can send home as a take-home message, just understand that the divine loves you, God and Goddess love you, and they want you to come back to them and to be embraced in the love and forgiveness, to get rid of all of that guilt and shame and fear and negative feelings because of what you've done, or any of the things, right? Please just know that they love you and they want you to come home. Rule 5, the law of spirit. This is the final rule here. All healing of every kind is spiritual healing. We are spiritual beings, and we can heal ourselves any way we decide. But no matter what we decide, all healing is spiritual healing. We can choose to heal ourselves on any level or any group of levels of our being. What we choose is what will be healed. We are so in power of so many things, and the powers that be have definitely tried to have us give up our powers, not just give up your brain to the teachers and the doctors and like the scientists, right? Let them speak for you. No, we have so much power that we need to take it back. And even more so, the belief that we have in our own healing is what fuels that healing. I'm sure that you've heard of the story of the woman that crawled through the crowd of people to just touch the hem of Christ's garment. And her faith was what made her healed. Like, she believed so much that even just touching that, like, one little shred of his garment would heal her. That faith allows the healing to come in. You can stand in front of someone who has brought people, like, you could be standing in front of Christ himself, knowing all the miracles that he's done and everything. And if you sit there as a doubting Thomas and you say, nope, not going to happen, this isn't going to happen, like, you cut off that healing from yourself. And I'm not saying that Christ couldn't bypass that and do it, but does he force healing on anybody? Or is it like you need to accept it yourself? Otherwise, like, there's also some, consent levels that come with when you become a healer and healing people and forcing that on them. There's obviously different issues when people are under demonic influence. There is room for us to step in because their consent is being messed with, and so they are not going to be like, oh yeah, I consent for you to help me out of this situation. We're allowed to pray for them and send energy that way to detach those demonic entities. But if someone is there sitting there with a ailment of some sort and they're like, no, I just refuse to be healed, you can't really do anything about that. So anyways, the next section in this is the Essene Gnostic beliefs, and these are just the traditional beliefs according to these Essenes. Let me copy and paste this into the chat so that you can, wait, is this working? So that you can see as well. So this is available, like I was saying, online, and the Octagon Society has not just this manual, but the other manuals. And this is something that I have wanted to teach for quite a long time. So I'm glad we're finally getting into to these teachings. But I wanted to show you this is like kind of the last part of this belief section, so that you can understand kind of the background of the healing and just have this understanding of it. Sorry, I'm trying to get my things settled here. Okay, so shout out to everyone in the live chat as well. I will be addressing the live chat in just a minute after we go through this. Try to keep the healing stuff together, and then so that people that want that can come and get it. Okay, so this says, what follows is an outline of the ideas traditionally taught by the modern order of the Essenes. You're not required to believe these ideas in order to proceed through the training, but you should understand them and reflect on them, and at least know what this is coming from. And so, yeah, the first thing is that the divine is everything. The divine is everything. There is no thought form, no holographic projection, no illusion that is not part of the divine. We are a part of the divine. We exist in the divine mind, just as everything in existence does. There is nothing that is not part of the divine mind contained within the divine mind. This especially is helpful when you're interacting with people, and knowing that we're all divine, and also when you're interacting with animals, understanding that they are divine, that nature is divine, that everything around us is divine, and even the ones that have lost their way and fallen down the golden ladder of being, that have allowed themselves to become demon infested and really, really dark, they are also still divine. They're our brothers and sisters, and they need pulled up the ladder as well. And I love how the Megillah talks about just the ultimate salvation for all beings, and talks about even the souls that sink into darkness, and fall into those really low pits, that they are essentially going to be the starting point, the burst of life from the beginning of the next world. So they're going to be coming back into the next world to have another chance again. So realistically, it's never too late for a second chance, and I really love that. So this continues on to say, the divine is all matter and all forms created from matter. The divine is all energy and all expressions of force created by matter and energy. The divine light is, and this light is a symbol. The divine is light, and this light is a symbol of knowledge. The divine is sound, vibration, light, energy, and matter, because all these things are mind stuff. The divine is love, because love is a decision, and the divine chooses to love just as the divine chooses to create. The creation itself is an expression of love. That's what also talks about in the beginning of the Megillah, in the creation story, and how being was and desired to share being with others. And so that is why more beings came into existence. And it's just really beautiful, wanting to share in the existence, consciousness, and bliss, share in the love and all the fun parts of being alive with another. The problem is that to choose to love means there is something opposite to love that can also be chosen. The divine created love just as it created the opposite to love. The divine created all emotions and the opposite to each and every one. It is because of this duality the divine has the ability to choose. It is because of this duality that everything in the creation has the ability to choose. And that free will is really important, and can lead to really, really dark worlds. And that's one of the reasons for the hand of mercy being extended in these worlds. And it's just really beautiful. The coming back again to this universal salvation and not worrying about the sadness and all of this stuff, because it's ultimately temporary, and all of this stuff is ultimately leading to the ultimate good for all beings. If it's not in this lifetime, then it's going to be in the next lifetime or the next, but never fret, because it's going to happen. Number 2, the divine created all that exists. The divine conceived everything that is. There is nothing that is not conceived by the divine. That means everything is created by the divine. Love and hatred, abundance and poverty, health and illness, light and darkness, knowledge and ignorance, freedom and bondage are all part of the creation. So are you and I. We were created by the divine, and we were empowered by the divine to choose how we would live our own lives. This freedom of choice is the same freedom expressed by the divine. This right to choose is a part of the creation because the divine thought the creation into existence in this way. It could have been different, but it is exactly as the divine created it to be. And in the creation story of the Megillah, it literally talks about how being Yah, whatever you would like to say, source, contemplated and looked into Ein Sof, this endless realm of endless possibilities, and was able to see all the different ways in which creation could happen, and chose from all of these different ways that the male and female would create together in this loving story. And it's just so beautiful. So I love that. It could have been different, but it is exactly as the divine created it to be. Number 3, we create our own lives. As children of the divine, we all have the right to create our own lives according to our own will. The problem is we're a very complex creation, and we live in a world of complex creatures, all doing what they want to do, or often listening to what the parasites and demons tell them to do, right? Sometimes what they want to do impacts us for good or ill. So we create and recreate our own lives many times each lifetime. We also have to heal ourselves when other people impact us for ill. When others cause us injury of some kind, we heal ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and physically to the best of our ability at all the time, or at the time. As we mature spiritually, we heal ourselves better and better. This is how we create ourselves over and over, how we create our own lives. And that's so true, because things are constantly impacting us. We can make as best decisions as we want, but other souls are doing what they want to, and they are having their own demonic influence as well. And these demons want to paint all of us in the worst lights for each other. They want you thinking that I'm evil. They want me thinking that you're evil. They want everybody thinking that everyone's evil, so that they can cause all sorts of chaos and discord and ultimately they want us to fail on our holy mission, which is, for me, I can't speak for everybody, but I think that there is the majority of people that are at least watching me are of the Christ family, and we came here to enlighten the world, to lift others up, to ascend up the golden ladder, to show people that there is a better way. So we're all trying to do all that, and these other influences can come and knock us off and try to discourage us and get us off of the path. And like it says, we have to keep, healing ourselves and trying to recover from people that we're just walking along the path, and all of a sudden this, football player comes and tackles you out of the way, and it's like, oh shoot, like I wasn't expecting that. Why am I getting attacked for this? And it's kind of how it feels for me right now, that this situation that I'm going through. So I'm really trying to implement these teachings and heal myself and become better from it all. So we're almost through these. This is the last one here, the last of the Essene Gnostic beliefs according to the modern Essene Fellowship. This is number 4. Healing is creation. If we become aware something needs to be healed, intend to heal it, and believe we can heal it, we will manifest healing in our lives. So we become aware that it needs healed, we intend to heal it, then we believe that we can heal it, we will manifest healing in our life. This is the basis of all spiritual healing. All healing starts with the awareness that something is currently wrong and that it can be made right. It's like not just knowing that there's something wrong, but also knowing that it can be fixed at the same time. Once you understand that the body's a healing machine, a self-healing machine, and that every single fiber of your being is trying to go back to God and Goddess's original design, that perfection where everything is functioning properly, where you're not being prematurely aged, where you're not sick, you don't have any cancer, you don't have any pain, nothing. That every fiber of your being wants to go back to that beautiful Edenic state. But we're constantly getting in our own way, whether it's, obviously breathing poisonous air, which we can't always help, the water, the food, all of these other things that we're consuming and doing is stopping that healing from happening. But once we understand that healing is already in, those mechanisms are already in place and trying to do that, we align ourselves with that, that's when we're going to see the healing happen. All healing starts with the awareness that something is currently wrong and that it can be made right. Once we intend to heal it and believe it can be healed, healing will become manifest in whatever requires healing. All of creation is a matter of, first, an intention, secondly, a belief, and finally, the manifestation of this intention and belief. So those are the basic Gnostic beliefs. I wanted to read this thing called The Essence of Deity because I think that it really aligns with some of the other things that I have been sharing. All healing, it depends upon the essence of deity. The essence of deity, whatever you would like to call God, goddess, whatever. Realistically, the names matter very little in comparison to the character of the God that you, God or goddess, hopefully both in a balanced way, that you are serving. If that, you might be able to say God's proper name right, but if you think that God is this violent, jealous warmonger, then saying his name right isn't actually doing anything. It would be better if you actually knew everything about him and how loving and unconditionally loving, forgiving, and caring God and Goddess are without knowing their names at all. It's better to know who they are and what they're about than their names. And that's not to say names aren't important, because names do carry power. But this is going with deity, so we'll remain there. The essence of deity is unconditional love. This unconditional love is the key to how we create our own lives and how we heal ourselves. Unconditional love is expressed as acceptance, forgiveness, and love. The creative and healing power of the universe is the essence of deity. The divine is unconditionally loving, all accepting, and all forgiving. Divine acceptance allows us to accept ourselves and others. Divine forgiveness allows us to forgive ourselves and others. Thus, we learn how to love in our own lives. Learning to love ourselves and others is a natural consequence of accepting and forgiving ourselves and others. Loving ourselves and others is the key to all spiritual healing because the divine is unconditional love, and it's the divine that heals all things. We become an instrument for the divine love of the divine when we help other people heal themselves. I really love that because the natural consequences of accepting and forgiving others and ourselves, and all of these, just accepting also that God and Goddess are loving, and accepting, and this isn't to say that they're saying, oh, you're doing that evil, that's okay, that's fine, everyone just do whatever they want, we love you anyways, we accept you. That's not the case. Like they're not okay with what we're doing, but they still love us no matter what. They're a good mother and father. Your child does something bad, they lie to you, they steal from you, they turn their backs, they say that they hate you, right? You don't stop hating them, you don't turn your back on them unless you're a bad parent, right? You're not going to stop loving them because they are a teenager that's going through a phase where they hate you and want to be really mean, right? Because you have understanding, you have a greater awareness and aspect, and also because that love that you have for them goes so much deeper than whatever this little thing that they are doing is doing, whatever thing is wrong. And you always have hope for them to realize what they're doing is wrong and to correct it, to come back into the fold. So it's really, seeing the mother and father like that is really helping me, especially with the stuff that I'm going through and trying to become better and deal with other people, knowing that they are forgiving of me and trying to be like them and extend that to other people is really, really important. So I'm not going to do the healing hands today just because there's one more thing that we also need to do before, which is called the healing breath meditation. And I would actually like to it's actually the sphere of protection. So I want to do that today and give you just a little bit of something to start thinking about so that we can get into the healing hands in a proper way with the safety and also understanding these the underlying principles of the different elements and how different blockages in each of these different areas of our lives can actually impact our healing. And fundamentally the disconnection from the divine, right? If we have that connection with them and restore that, it's going to help heal everything. And so this, like all these teachings from the Megillah and the communions and stuff that I've been doing definitely have helped me personally try to right some of those wrong thinking patterns and other wrong ways of existing that I know are impeding my own healing and spiritual growth, whether it's the wrong thinking about how God and Goddess are, thinking that they are, bad parents, that they're jealous or angry or vengeful or any of that, and not allowing ourselves the love and forgiveness from them. So yeah, I just lost my train of thought. But anyways, I wanted to, like I was saying, tell you about this sphere of protection. So this would be while you're meditating, contemplating, praying, or healing yourself. You can do this sphere of protection around yourself to protect you from negative energies, demonic attack, or anything like that. So when you are going to do your healing hands, you would want to do this, but you can do it at any time, and I think it's really beneficial. We've mentioned before about the Essene blessing walk, where you go out and there's different layers to the procedure, and you can read it in that manual that I put into the live chat. But ultimately, the goal is that when you're going out and about, you take a walk and you're just sending blessings to everything, the people, the animals, the insects, the plants, the trees. You're sending out this blessing energy everywhere all the time when you're walking, so that it just becomes second nature. So that's one of the things that they would do. And this sphere of protection, I'm going to just kind of summarize it, and then I will actually read through it slowly and have anybody that actually wants to try to do it at home do it for themselves. Basically, you're going to just sit there comfortably. You're going to focus on your heart area. You're going to imagine a white light that starts shining in your heart area. This is the white light of the divine, and it's unconditional love. So as we are breathing in and out, focus is going to be on the unconditional love. When you breathe in, you're going to see this unconditional love of the universe just filling you, not just filling you, but this sphere of light that you have here. When you breathe in, the love fills you, and it also makes this expand. When you breathe out, this dot expands, So over the course of 7 breaths, we're going to have this white dot expand and grow. You're going to be filling with this light of the divine. So over 7 breaths, again, it grows and expands all the way around you until you are filled with it and it's around you. It's filling the area around you. So that being said, this is only one way that you can cast the sphere of protection. You can do whatever feels right to you. Oftentimes, like, especially if you're sending out healing energy, you're not going to necessarily need it. It's just a precautionary measure. But it can also help fill you with the light and the love and have just that energy anytime that you need it, especially walking in this world, in this contested world of darkness. We're constantly faced with people that don't have control of their own demons and just demonic issues that are all around us. So having any forms of protection is really beneficial. So that being said, sit or stand comfortably and close your eyes for anybody that would like to do this. Relax and breathe deeply. Bring your consciousness to your heart. See a dot of white light shining in the center of your heart. This white light is the light of the divine. It is the unconditional love of the universe. It is the protection against all things. See this dot of white light. Each time you breathe out, see this dot of white light expanding. Over the course of 7 breaths, see it expand so that it forms a sphere completely surrounding you. Each time you breathe in, feel the unconditional love of the universe filling you more and more. Then watch this sphere of light expand as you breathe out. Stand or sit within this sphere of white light, this sphere of the unconditional love of the universe. Stand in there for 3 breaths and enjoy the peace, energy, and love. And finally, give thanks to the divine for protecting you and proceed with your purpose for forming this sphere of protection around you. So like I said, this is only one of the many different ways that you could do this. That energy definitely making me feel tingly inside. I don't know about you. Spending more time at just doing different practices like this and trying to tune in to all of the energies around us is really important. The next thing that we're not today, that's a lot to take in for today. I would definitely encourage you to do that healing or that healing protection of sphere protection, whatever. Practice that and try to feel the different energies that come about when you're doing that, and think more about the different rules of healing that we shared earlier, so that when we do the Essene Healing Hands, which I do intend to do next week, we will be ready for that and kind of tuned into that energy. Really looking forward to sharing that with you. If you want to, you can jump ahead in the text that I shared in the chat to see for yourself what it all entails, or you can just wait and learn and listen with us. So I'm gonna jump in the live chat really quick before I start to talk about some of the other things that I was planning to talk about today. Yes. So hey Robbie, how's it going? Robbie says a biofilm, which are parasites encased in protective shields, are intentionally put in pharmaceuticals and vaccines. Definitely. David D says, Robbie, these parasites are demonic in nature, and even the unjabbed are still full of them. We need to cleanse our body, mind, and spirit to exorcise these demons. Exactly. They're constantly trying to get in and live vicariously through us. They're trying to whisper in our ears so that they can sow seeds of discord and bring us down, and bring others around us down through us. They're always just trying to cause problems. David D says, exactly. God and Goddess are good parents, have unconditional love, and want us to revert back to their way, the way, starting with the fleshless diet. Exactly. This is the comment that I had put in there. It's from the octagonsociety.org. You can just type in that and then go to the archives, I believe, is where that is at. Get away from me, blessed bug. Thank you. Go have your own space. David says, yes, Christ can not give what you refuse to take. Exactly. You must be open to the healing, to the teaching, or it won't happen. Jean asked, what nationality am I? Well, my mom said that she is German and my dad is a British or English royalty, I'm sorry. But I was born and raised in America. I feel my soul has a British accent, so when I'm fully connected, that will come out and stay. But yeah, I think also that it's really important to know where we're from, but also more importantly, to not let these things divide humanity. And yeah, I think that our past should be embraced in a positive way, with positively embracing other peoples and other heritages as well. So yeah. Hey Dave, how's it going? Dave says, love and hopefulness in Jaja's way. Exactly. Oh, love the hopefulness in Jaja's way. All will ultimately return to the divine. Exactly. We'll all go back to where we came. David D says, well said, Dave. Hey Kyle, how's it going? Great Sunday message. This wisdom always course corrects me back to love and understanding. I am on the same path, and I have to keep bringing myself back to it as well, because it's really hard. Like I mentioned in yesterday's stream, I am still learning a lot of this stuff, or remembering and trying to integrate it to who I am, to become who I am, because I know that being unconditionally loving and just forgiving and all those positive things are who I am at a soul level. So it's just a matter of us all remembering that and returning to it and dealing with all the constant tests that we have around us. It is a constant struggle, especially when you're part of the world, when you have to go to work or deal with other people and their energies and their lack of control. It's hard, but I applaud anyone who is trying. Keep trying. Sounds like they're having a fun party over there. David D says, understand you are sick, understand it can be fixed, have the willpower to fix it. Exactly. without that self-examination and really like constantly examining ourselves to take the logs and the specks out of our eyes. It's in so many different ways. It's not just one area that we all need to grow in, but we're all constantly learning and growing in all the different ways. So we need to have patience with ourselves and also accept the fact that none of us, no matter how long that we've been doing any of this and know everything, we all have ways to learn and grow and improve. And so we should have humility in that and not just think, oh, I'm in this position, I'm better than you or whatever. It's really frustrating, especially when you're dealing with people that have been set in their ways a long time, maybe have been given power for whatever reason, like pastors of churches, dealing with people like that have been doing whatever they've been doing for so long. It's hard for them to have that humility, and it's hard to deal with. So we have to kind of bring a lot of these things ourselves to overcompensate for what other people are lacking. Robbie says, yes, we can detoxify, and self-heal. Exactly. So what says, hey, Anana, hey, how's it going? Jennifer says, hello, sister. Hello, how are you? Hopefully everybody's doing awesome. So what says, is that where the expression, sorry to bust your bubble comes from? Well, maybe the bubble of protection around us. Holistic, Jennifer says, exactly. It should be body, mind, and soul. Understanding that all of these things are linked together and any of them can cause these diseases. And yeah, I really love the return to the holistic medicine and understanding that they all have, like, we shouldn't have these situations where like your dentist is here, your doctor's here, and like they don't overlap and they're missing the complete connection between the fact that like your teeth will tell a lot about your underlying health and other organs and things that are going on. So your one doctor should know about all of the health combined and understand the different things with what's going on in your oral care, so that they can help you on all the levels. There's a deliberate reason why all of these things are specialized and split. They want us to remain sick and for these specialists to only be specialized in their one area so that they misdiagnose, they miss things they don't understand. So yes, every decision of every day. Exactly. That's what we do. Every decision of every day matters. Yeah. Hey, come on. Duty says, what is your plan moving forward to preach the teaching of God and Goddess? Well, that is a really good question because right now, as many of you know, my hands are kind of being tied in ways that don't make sense. I am being essentially muzzled and having to just go along with things that I don't believe are coming from God and Goddess, which is very frustrating because ultimately we are dealing with God and Goddess's word and what they want for it. And my First Amendment right is being basically infringed upon in some different ways. And frankly, if that doesn't stop, I'm going to have to do what I have to do about that, which is take whoever to court who will not let me be. We definitely have a freedom of speech and a freedom of religion. I'm allowed to speak my own words and thoughts. I don't have to go along with anybody else's belief or their way of thinking, right? One thing that is coming to mind is the use of Lucifer in the Megillah. I refuse personally to demonize the title Lucifer, because it means light bearer. And so giving that title to someone that is doing evil is corrupting the title, just in the same way that king and queen are royal titles. I do not give those titles to those that are doing behaviors that go against royal behaviors. Yahweh, I don't call Satan Yahweh. Like, there's been a lot of times where good titles, good names have been stolen by the evil doers. Even Baphomet. Baphomet is an occult symbol for Sophia, who is all physical matter. She is the good, the bad, the ugly. She is the male, the female, the human, and the animal. She's all of that. And that symbol, that name, has been stolen and demonized for evil. I refuse to be involved with that. I refuse to let evil doers have good or positive titles or nicknames or any of that. So you can do whatever you want, but you cannot come along and tell me that I have to go along with that as well, right? That would be freedom of speech. That's my freedom of religion. That can't be, you can't force someone to do that, just as you can't force me to use whatever pronouns that you want or any of this stuff, right? There's this freedom of speech. You're allowed to have your own and say your own things. So as far as that's concerned, I'm fine with pointing and saying that the translator used that word, and I don't agree with it. But there's other just limitations that the translator and the accuser are trying to put on me. That is getting to a point where, well, I mean, it's already been frustrating, and I keep coming back to the like I'm trying to embody the teachings of the Megillah and actually be loving and kind and patient and caring and understanding that the translator and the accuser are both, as am I, all of us are under demonic influence. Demons want us all to be at odds and accusing and angry and sending bad vibes and all of this stuff. There's entities that want to cause all sorts of bad things. So I'm trying to come from a position of understanding that I myself am under this attack to see other entities as doing evil. They are under attack to see me as doing evil. And there's been a lot of demonic energy around this beautiful book. Well, okay, I say beautiful book because the book itself is beautiful, not my copy. My copy took a swim in this lake, unfortunately. But I love this book. And there's been a lot of evil that has been around it, and like demons trying to suppress it. And just, yeah, I mean, I was reading this morning, and in the appendix here talking about the different trumpets, the trumpet of the last days. And they're talking about how, let's see, basically it talks about when the evildoers make a sheep in the image and likeness of itself without natural parents, the fourth trumpet is sounded. So that's Dolly the sheep, right? And then the fifth trumpet is saying the emergency. The call of the fifth trumpet is the number of emergency in the land of the eagle, and it is the number of a day. So I'll give you a second to figure that out, but to jump the gun, that's 9/11, right? They're literally saying the call of the fifth trumpet is the number of emergency in the land of the eagle and is the number of a day. Let those in the land of the eagle with spiritual ears hear the warning of the fifth trumpet. And this is the warning. When the towers of New Babylon fall, all is not as it seems. For though this is an attack on the eagle, the seed was planted by the hidden hands beneath the mountain in the land of the eagle. So let me just say, my whole point is that these teachings have been in the hands of the church or whatever for very many years before 9/11, and these teachings haven't been told to us. So demons have really worked their magic to keep all of these teachings suppressed using many different forms, and now I am being suppressed myself to not be able to teach them. And you wonder why. There's literally prophecies that this stuff won't get out, and just bear with me. So the fifth trumpet's already sounded, right? 9/11, fifth trumpet according to this. The sixth trumpet, basically it talks about the magic box. Mankind loves the magic box and calls it friend. And from the magic box comes forth seeming miracles, yea, and great fun, and access to great wisdom. Hour after hour, day after day, mankind will sit in front of his magic box, not wanting to be separated from it. Then they will make it smaller and carry it with them. This is all part of the plan. This machine is like unto a brain, and all these brains will one day be linked to the master brain. Basically, they're literally talking about phones, right? The magic box, the TV that becomes smaller, and then you can carry it with you. And then eventually they want you to link your brain to this. That is the sixth trumpet. When man links his natural brain to the artificial brain, the line has been crossed. And when that line is crossed, know this, the sixth trumpet of the last day has been sounded. So we are in the time of this sixth trumpet could be sounding at any time. And after the sixth trumpet, obviously the seventh trumpet, the sixth trumpet leads to this situation where if you're not hooked up to the workplace, to the artificial brain, then you're going to get fired. And then even further down the road, if you're not connected, you're going to be labeled as an animal. You're going to be hunted down. And then that's when the sound of the seventh trumpet happens, which is very interesting because all of this stuff is happening in the land of the eagle, America, right? America is being literally taken over by this AI. People linking their brain to the AI system and literally being taken over. And then the children of the crescent moon, which is all these Islamic countries, right? The children of the crescent moon, those that have the crescent moon on their flag, attack America and literally take out the White House. And then that unleashes this whole hellfire situation where the eagle, America, goes and firebombs the children of the crescent moon, just completely destroys them. Hellfire missile type evil, right? In retaliation. And you already know that the vast majority of the patriots, Americans, are going to be like, oh, 9/11 happened and you bombed us, and now you came and bombed our White House. Screw that. You guys are all done. Let's just bomb them all, take them all out, right? Just kill everybody and don't ask questions, just destroy them all, right? And that's what the powers that be are ready for. They've been feeding this whole thing. They even by the 9/11 blaming them, blaming all of these other people, when the powers that be have been doing this the whole time to lead us towards this ending that they want for us. Yea, enraged, the eagle took to air, and from his talons unleashed the fires of hell upon the nations of the crescent moon. And with the supposed leaders of the eagles dead and out of the way, for they governed from the city of the white palace that was turned to ash, the hidden powers behind the master brain were free to act. And act they did, for behold, the hidden powers behind the false brains had long planned for this day. They literally, it's all a setup to have these hidden powers come forth, get all the, the fake puppets in the White House out of the way so that these actual dark forces can come forth to light. I love this. But also hear this. Enoch taught truly that there are two possible paths for humanity. Let me just turn this off for 1 second. There are two possible paths for humanity, a positive path and a negative path. At the time of each trumpet, and even between the sounding of each trumpet, humans can change the path they walk. How long have we had access to this text and not even heard these warnings or heard that they can be changed between each trumpet? Like, why is this text being suppressed when it is so important? Although I am a positive, happy prophet, not a prophet of doom, I have provided the warning of the 7 trumpets of the last days for good reason. Humanity is currently walking the negative path. Rather than let humanity sleepwalk on that downward path without waking up in time to avert catastrophe, I have, as did Enoch, given warning. The 7th trumpet need not be sounded and can be averted. Why aren't we shouting this from the rooftops? Why doesn't everybody already know this? This text talks even about 9/11 and has been suppressed for way too long. If the warning is not given, humanity may remain asleep. Even so, let all Nazarenes that give this warning also make clear that these trumpets need not sound. Like Holy Enoch was shown, the future course of events can be altered. Yea, the book of life has blank pages. I just love the positivity in the ending. But it still comes back to the fact that this text is being suppressed. And at this point in time, you guys have already seen my YouTube channel get taken down for sharing these exact texts. So yeah, the situation is very frustrating, and I am working on figuring out how to handle it. The best solution for me would be one where the power that has been given to people is used in the proper way, and the ones that have the power to help get the Megillah out to the world go and actually talk to God and Goddess and then come and talk to me, because I know that my divine mission is to help get this out. I would love to help get it on Amazon, Kindle, and I don't want any credit and I don't want any money. I could not give a crap less about money. None of the things that I do are for money. I literally spend the money that is like money that I could be using to make my life better, to put on these full moon events for other people, to show the way. It's not about money. You can have every single dollar. If you put it on Amazon for $1 and literally put it in all the different languages, you would make millions of dollars. So if it has to do with money, this is also how to make money. For me, it's about getting the message to the world. This should be easily accessible to every single human being on earth in every single language possible right now, because we're already in the progress of having that sixth trumpet blown. We already see the Neuralink and all of these AI stuff that is working on taking over right now. So it is really, really important that this message get out right now. So yeah, if my First Amendment right keeps getting like squandered, I'm definitely going to have to go to court, and I will put whatever money I have to invest into fighting for it. And I will actually fight it as myself. I'm not going to get a lawyer. I will be the one that fights in court for this. I've already gone to court over things and won fighting for myself. So there's that. And another solution could also be that the translator could just give us a digital copy of the original Hebrew and let us have that. The original Hebrew is not owned by the copyright owner, the translator, or anything. It's God and Goddess's word, and it should be out to the world. So they could also just say, hey, you guys could have a digital copy of the original text and don't have to worry about my rules and regulations and my copyright and putting my name on it or any of that stuff. We could all just be done with the drama and completely be done with that and just have the word of God that is rightfully ours. It doesn't belong to anybody. It should not be being suppressed. It belongs to the world, and the world needs to hear it. So anybody that is actually connecting to God and Goddess is going to have that same message. So hopefully people will start connecting to God and Goddess. They'll get back into their daily communions and actually practice the Zayen and be what they are supposed to be, so that they can stop messing with me and we can just spread the truth to our reality, because that's what it's about. Again, I don't care about receiving credit. I don't care about receiving energy or money or anything. It's not about that. It is about changing this situation. I don't care if I have to suffer and make sacrifices and all this stuff. I have a holy mission. I have a goal, and I know that I'm in the position to make some big changes. And so I want to do that. So we'll see what happens with that. It's getting really hot in here. Jennifer says, yes, Ayurveda. I never can say that right. It puts all these pieces together. There's some really beautiful teachings in Hindu medicine and all of that stuff. So yes. Jennifer says, please comment below to acknowledge awareness to this topic. All teachings here in this private group that reference verbatim text of the Holy Megillah are hereby cited as the Holy Megillah, Nazarene Bible of the Essene Way, translated by Day of Greenleaf, available at essene.org. For all legal copyright requests of the copyright holder, Day of Greenleaf, aka David Owens. Thank you. And just as whatever, you can buy the Holy Megillah that was originally translated by Day of Greenleaf at essene.org. I love this book, and regardless of any other of all of these demonic attacks and issues and drama and the evil that I have seen, this book is amazing, and I am so grateful that I can literally sit here and hold it and learn from it and read it. And yeah, it's life-changing, and my goal is to help spread this message to the world. So there's that. David says, hopefully it won't come to fighting it out in court. A deal would be easier and a cheaper option for all. Exactly. And the deal agreement has been kind of made, but the accuser, this third party, is somehow able to ignore the translator's requests and do whatever they want, which I'm not really sure why they have this power. Like, I hope that it's not like they have something over the translator and they're just just using it, because it definitely is an abusive situation, from even just the small parts that I've seen. Because when someone is technologically illiterate and they admit that, and then you use your knowledge of technology to lie and manipulate them, that is abuse. And I'm sure that it's not the only form of abuse that's going on. In fact, I know it's not, because everyone that's had an interaction with the accuser has been abused, and then the accuser just says that we're the abusers, and it's just very frustrating to deal with. So again, I keep having to come back and be like, okay, all of these people, including myself, are under demonic attack. The demons want me to hate them and to cause more problems, and the demons want them to see me as bad and to cause problems as well. So it's really frustrating, because then it's like, because I know I'm the one that has to compensate for all of these other issues. And yeah, especially anyways. Kyle says, wow, the magic box. Yeah, it's really cool how they talk about that. It's getting really hot, so I'm probably gonna have to move in a second. Dave says, it seems like the translator and the person who posed as him to attack you believe it's their content to share and not Jaja's. Yeah. Shouldn't these teachings be shared to everyone who is ready? Exactly. Yeah, when I pray about it and ask God is what they want, I just already know at a fundamental level that people need these teachings. It doesn't matter about who wrote them. It doesn't matter about any of this. All of that is just ego. Ego doesn't matter. What matters is getting these teachings to the world so that it can change the world. We're almost to the time of the sixth trumpet. And the text literally says the trumpet doesn't even have to be blown. If everyone could hear my words right now and understand this link that's coming when they want us to link our brains to the AI and how that is going to cause very big problems, how that is evil. Why aren't we so worried about telling this to everybody? It's not about me. It's not about any messenger. It's not about that. It's about the message. So Jennifer says, I have a story to tell you, sister, related to cell phones. Okay, cool. I look forward to talking to you in a bit. Jennifer also has a temple that she is a worldwide temple. It's not a physical temple yet, but she did say that she wants to have a temple in Mount Shasta someday, which would be really cool, because you guys already know that I'm in Mount Shasta, and Mount Shasta is such an important place. We need more true light here. There's a lot of false light. There's a lot of false spirituality and fakeness, and we need more of the positive. I actually wanted already, before all of this drama happened, I was already thinking about, and Dave can also attest to this, because he was helping me with some of my other events at the time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to plan an Essene gathering here in Mount Shasta. So I've already wanted to have the Essene church and do the Essene gathering here and all of this stuff. And I'm really looking forward to what God and Goddess help create here. We would love to have our own land, a little Nazarene Butza, and eventually turn the whole Mount Shasta vegan, right? It's make Shasta vegan, not just have a little tiny thing, but we can be that city on a hill and start small and get big. And I'm just really, really excited to see what the future holds. David D says, we are in the 6th of 7 trumpets. Exactly. We have to get it out now. Yes. Jennifer says, I agree. The original text would be greatly appreciated. Exactly. And then there wouldn't be any problems, right? We would all just be able to have our own deals. There wouldn't be this drama. There wouldn't be any of it. And it would be really, really great. So, let's just keep praying that God and Goddess will reveal these things to us, and that they will make a way through this darkness, because there's a lot of darkness that is surrounding this, and a lot of tape, and I know for sure that it's not coming from them, because they don't want this. They know my intent as well. So if anybody goes to God and Goddess and connects with them and tries to humbly ask them about me, they're going to find out the truth about me. There's other people that want to use signs and symbols, and they want to put in their Gematria calendar or their Gematria websites and all of these things, right? Like, I've been demonized for wearing red and black. I've been demonized for wearing orange. I've been demonized for wearing blue and yellow. Like, first of all, what color can I wear that I'm not going to be demonized by? And second of all, when it comes to Gematria and a lot of these other, even mudras, the hand symbols, even different signs and symbols, so many of them have been demonized and taken by the evildoers, just the same with the names. As far as Gematria goes, this same accuser, which was kind of interesting, I wanted to read you this email, and I'm not trying to get, I was trying to open up the email, and I see that the accuser has sent another one. So anyways, I'm not focusing on that. I wanted just to share you what I said because I thought it was really, really positive. Obviously, if you get onto a Gematria calendar, you will find pages and pages of links that have a word or a phrase, and it links to all sorts of different things. You can sit here for hours and hours and hours and play with these demonic numbers all that you want, and you can pick and choose what good or bad things from these very long lists of words, what you associate with the word. Because anytime that you do this, you're going to find good and bad words, nonsense and true things. Like, it's going to be a mix of everything. So what you choose to focus on is also kind of telling about what you are looking at. First of all, also, I'd like to bring in what Jennifer had pointed out to me about Gematria and how the original Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew, the original, does have the numerical value 1 being A and so forth. But once you start translating that not only into modern Hebrew, which isn't ancient Hebrew, and then even worse into English, modern English, you're so far away from the original meaning of those words. Like, you're just playing with numbers at that point. And if you know what I know, you know that demons love numbers. They're the ones that have all this globe earth math, that's these long equations and stuff. They love that. They find some weird satisfaction of just these long division, it's just weird stuff that demons just love. And I'm not saying that like Gematria is evil or that there isn't truth in it, but obsessing over anything like that is not going to be a good thing. But also, when it's wrong, and you're also picking and choosing good or bad based on whatever agenda you want, then there's a problem with that. So the accuser just said, my favorite Gematria results for your chosen name, which Inanna is not my chosen name, it's my soul's name. You don't choose your soul's name, that's just what your soul's name is. My favorite Gematria results for your chosen name. What is an ego? And the one who failed. It's kind of just really funny. But my response back to that, which I thought was really good, so that's why I wanted to share it with you. I said, is there a reason that you choose the negative Gematria links instead of positive ones? And I sent back ones that also Inanna know are, which are all the Gematria calculations of all Bible codes, the coming of the Lord God Almighty, tree of life, tree alive, and abide in his word. So there's really positive things there too, but this accuser is choosing the negative for a reason, right? Because they want to paint me in this bad light. They're letting demons obscure their vision and their ability to see, and it's really frustrating to deal with. But I continue on and say, you claim to be loving, yet love seeks the best in others and calls it to come forth. I've been very angry at you, yet I stop myself from sending hateful energy your way because I feel bad for you and don't want to add to the pain you're feeling. I sincerely want you to heal because it's not only hurting you, but others too. I did not get your Instagram channel blocked. I am not concerned with what you're doing at all, and don't report people because I understand karma. Try to take people out and you get taken out, which this person literally is complaining about their Instagram getting taken out when I'm pretty sure that they sent the Instagram complaint after their channel got taken down, because they're claiming that they did it at the same time as the YouTube complaint, but Instagram doesn't take 2 to 3 weeks to respond to copyright claims. They actually do it within 3 to 7 days. So yeah, it's pretty suspicious that yours gets taken down and then immediately after you come onto mine and try to take mine down. But anyways, you think you're defending the Megillah, but you're rushing in with swords and lack of understanding to attack those who embrace the Megillah with love. Why not try to be loving and kind? I know for sure if you ask Jaja about me, Jaja is a name for God and Goddess, that the Essenes use. Ja and Jala are the names for God and Goddess, and so they just shorten it to Jaja. I know for sure if you ask Jaja about me, you will see I'm on their side. Satan has twisted your outlook on me using many tactics, including the love for numbers you and demons share. Although I'm not perfect, the Megillah has taught me to approach conflict in a different way, and I'm trying very hard to love even those who attack and lie about me. I'm striving on a daily basis to embody the teachings of the Holy Megillah and would like a peaceful resolution to this where I am left alone to do what Jaja wants me to do, and you can focus on yourself and the positive ways you can impact this world instead of attacking me. I was actually blocked after that. And I will send you this tell you this last email because just so that everyone actually knows what the situation is going on. I said, Day, I'm sorry this is continuing, but the accuser still needs to remove the copyright claims on my channel so I can change the name as per our agreement. So the copyright owner said that my channel should not have been struck and that the accuser should give my channel back, and the accuser is refusing. The accuser thinks that they have all of this power, which I don't understand. Why has the translator given the accuser this much power when the accuser has done nothing but caused problems for everybody and even turned people away from the Holy Megillah with their behavior? It doesn't make any sense. I asked the accuser, when can I expect my Instagram to be unblocked? It should be a simple process on your end, and it will stop this energy exchange. They're trying to call me an energy vampire because I was trying to get my thing unblocked. It's like, no, I'm not an energy vampire. I don't even want to interact with you. You're forcing me to interact with you by attacking me and then calling me an energy vampire. Like, that's gaslighting 101. Blocking me from emailing you will not change the fact that you have been specifically asked to undo what you have done. So definitely let it be stated for the record that my Instagram channel, the Holy Megillah, should have been unblocked. And this person has lied multiple times to continue to get it blocked and keep it unblocked. They actually try to say, or to keep it blocked, they actually try to say that they were the only follower and that the Instagram had 0 posts when it had 42 posts and 9 followers. So again, this person is using the lack of technological insight to lie and abuse this person. It is very evil, and everybody around can see what's happening. I just don't understand why it is being allowed to happen. Anyways. So the person has been specifically asked to undo what they've done, and I have a personal agreement with the translator based on the translator's terms for my account to be online, which means that like the accuser should not even be involved. They're sticking their nose into the business that doesn't belong in. I am trying to resolve this peacefully and according to the translator's wishes, and expect that you are aligned with the same goal. This was actually 2 days or yesterday, and it still hasn't been done. Basically, the ending point was this person lying and telling the translator that that had zero people involved following or anything. So the translator just said, you need to, then don't worry about it and just get a new account. It's like, why am I getting punished because of this person's lies? So I'm not trying to get off on a tangent about being very irritated, but injustice really bothers me. Like, this is all just really solidifying to me a teaching lesson, multiple teaching lessons of how to not do what has been done to me. If someone was coming up to me and I was involved with scriptures that had been translated by me and they were changing a word, I would go in with understanding and loving and say, why did you do this? Can you explain to me why, in a very loving way, instead of being accusatory and saying that people are adding to the text when they're not, and basically going in with judging their intent as bad and negative. Another thing that I have learned is to go to God and Goddess before doing that so that I can actually come with that love and compassion and understanding that I can be under demonic influence to be blinded to things or feel a certain way, and also understanding that the other people involved can be that way as well. Yeah, it's also really teaching me a very hard lesson in love and compassion and understanding that, frankly, I wish that I wouldn't have to learn, but I guess it's better that I'm learning it now than in the future when I am a more established. You guys already know that I have my own church coming in the works, and I know that I am here to be Yaira and teach these Nazarene teachings, the teachings that belong to God and Goddess, not any human. And so that is what I'm going to continue on my path to becoming who I am meant to be. And that I have these teachings also to help me in my mindset with all of this and to help me be grateful and loving and happy and, well, happy. That one's hard. They're all hard, but trying to be happy as well while you're being attacked is like trying to have a smile through it all. It's definitely a challenge, but the teachings themselves are very positive and uplifting. So there's that. Dave Kaiser says, yes, your passion to spread this message is inspiring. We all need to light our fires like you have, paired with love. I definitely agree with that. I don't have anything to add. Thank you. Jennifer says, I want to translate it. Exactly. I definitely want involved in that as well. We all have the right to see God and Goddess's text. And I understand that there are worries about the original text being destroyed or any of that. And like I said, give us a digital copy. We're not even asking for the original scrolls. We're asking to see God and Goddess's word, which should already be a right granted to us. If you can't hear that I'm getting angry, it does make me very angry because these teachings should already be known. We're almost to the sixth trumpet, people. Okay, there is a dire need for the stuff to be out. Why am I getting suppressed by those that say that they're trying to get it out as well? I would encourage all of you, including myself, to take some time to connect with God and Goddess and actually find out their will and align yourselves with it. All right, I'm gonna get off of here after I read David D's comment because it is getting really, really hot out here. I'm about to go jump in the lake. Original Gematria is truth. English Gematria is nonsense from demons playing with those too ignorant to know it's false. Yeah. And like when you type in something and you're getting not only just complete nonsense, but you're getting things that contradict positive things and negative things, you need to understand that you're being messed with and not just sit there and pick out whatever suits your agenda to float your boat. That's just not how the truth works. It's not about you. It's not about what position you want to hold and making everything align with that. It's about you letting go of all of the things that you think that you know and all these beliefs and aligning with the truth. Whether that's in a textbook or not in a textbook, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the source of the truth. The truth is the truth, and that should be what it is. So that being said, again, today is my day. So I want to actually end with this thing. We'll just say the prayer one more time because I want to bring myself back to it as well. It's kind of weird that I have to take off one thing to add the next. Okay. Our God and Goddess, immanent and transcendent, send to all your angel of peace, please. To all the helpful thoughts of my mind, send your angel of power. It is really hard to keep our minds and actions and everything aligned with these higher frequencies, but it'll pay off in the end. The reward isn't getting patted on the back in this spiritual or in this physical lifetime. Sure, if you do something great and someone says, hey, good job, cool, whatever, but that shouldn't be our goal. Our goal shouldn't be seeking credit in this world, and it should be seeking credit at the end, which is credit from God and Goddess, saying you did a good job well done, my good and faithful servant. You climbed up the golden ladder, you helped others as well, you did what was right, and that should be what we're all focused on. And yeah, all the helpful thoughts of my mind, send your angel of power. I hope that you have a